You are listening to a special edition of the Central Indiana Sports Report, our Class 2A Elwood Sectional preview and prediction show with Tipton Tribune and Elwood Call Leader Sports Editor Michelle Garmon, the Action Sports Network's Grant Shouse, and special guests Frankton Eagles head coach Brent Brobston, Lapel Bulldogs head coach Kevin Cherry, and Elwood Panthers athletic director and head basketball coach Ryan VanSkyock. Don't want to delay it long, but do want to let you know about my new daily podcast called Greg and His Friends Talk Sports. Every day, 10 to 20 minutes, my friends and I talk about what Central Indiana sports fans are talking about, whether it's the Pacers, Fever, Colts, IU, Purdue, IndyCar, national sports, and of course, high school sports. If Central Indiana sports fans are talking about it, we're talking about it on Greg and His Friends Talk Sports. Once again, every day on the Central Indiana Sports Report. Please check it out. It's a lot of fun, and I put a lot of work into it. Just give it a try. You'll like it. Welcome, Central Indiana sports fans, to the Central Indiana Sports Report for our Elwood boys basketball sectional preview, which begins Tuesday night with a doubleheader. It is Tipton against Taylor, and then rivals Lapel and Frankton may be the two favorites in this sectional, although there are four really good teams, Michelle, who all think that they could probably win this sectional. Michelle, your thoughts on a pretty good field?
Oh, I think it's a great sectional. I think it's funny when they kind of adjusted the alignments, and they brought Frankton in, which I thought. But then they also brought Lapel, too. So they brought that rivalry from Sectional 40 to Sectional 39. And then they took the Eastbrook-Blackford rivalry and moved it from throw Madison Grant in there, too. And moved them to from 39 to 40. So it's, four teams will start. Two of those teams play the second game on Tuesday night, and that is the arch rivals, backyard rivals, Lapel and Frankton. And
same school corporation. All the kids know each other.
Yes.
They probably like each other, but they also love beating each other.
Here's the thing. They probably like each other and hang out with each other sometimes in the summer and everything.
It's a friendly rivalry off the field.
But you get on the court, you get on the field, and it's not real friendly. The coaches have the kids have respect for each other, but it's like the kind of rivalry you want. You should not like your opponent the night you're playing them.
Michelle, these coaches act like they like each other. I keep trying to get them to talk trash about the other, and they just will not do it.
They said, I was at the sectional meeting. They sat together, okay? And those two guys, they sat together, and they visited through it. That's the respect that Brent and Kevin have for each other. They both know they're
two of my favorites.
I'm not going to lie. They're two of the top coaches in this field. And Brent Brobston has been to the state finals twice and has a state championship. And he's been to the semi-state a couple other times along with that. So, this guy knows how to have his team ready in March.
All right, Michelle, you and I and Grant are going to make our predictions coming up. But first, let's hear from Frankton head coach Brent Brobston. And you and I will talk a little bit more. And then we'll hear from Lapel head coach Kevin Cherry.
First, everybody wants to know what's the injury situation.
Well, Ashton's going to try to play. We'll see how he does. Definitely got a wrist injury, but we're going to tape it up and go from there. And then Nickham has been day-to-day, so he's 50-50. So right now we're hopeful that both those guys will try to play and make that effort and just kind of see where they're at.
You probably would prefer a fully healthy team against a team like Lapel, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a tough opponent, tough situation, but we just need to step up, and we need to have some guts and show some determination, some heart, step up. If those kids that have had some injury issues here with those two, if they can't play or they have to come out, then Isaac Fair played an excellent game the other night for us, so 10 points, 11 assists. He'll come in and play. He'll be fine. He showed that he can perform in this situation. And we feel like Cal Osborne's done the same thing. In the last game against Blue River was his best game of the season. He definitely proved that he can be out there and help us. We have confidence in those guys, and we know that Eli Birch can start. He's started many games this year, so we feel confident, that we've got guys that can come off the bench and got guys that can help. Holding's another kid that's played the 4 and 5 for us, so we know he can as well. So we're hopeful those guys are healthy. At the end of the day, like you said, Lapel's a very good team, but so are we. So it's two good teams going at each other. And at the end of the day, you just got to go out there and battle and play with all the heart and determination you can.
Last time you played him was one of the craziest games I've ever seen. What do you do this time to not allow them to get those kinds of runs?
Yeah, I think it was a weird game. They were really hot early, made several threes early in the game, got a big lead early. Then we came back, tied it up. Then we took a big lead. Then they cut the lead back, tied it up. Then we took a lead again by 8, and then they came back and won. And very odd game. You're right. In all the years I've coached, it was a lot of ups and downs in that game. So I think you got to find some stability on the defensive end. We've also got to take care of the basketball, which we've prepared for in the last 3 weeks very well. And I think that we can do a good job of that. We need to be in attack mode. So for us, we got to be able to attack and get downhill as well.
Coach, it's been too long since your last sectional championship. This team capable of doing it?
Yeah, absolutely. They're definitely capable to win it, but you just got to take it one game at a time. And there's several teams in this sectional that are capable to win it. It's a tough sectional overall. At the end of the day, you're going to have to beat good teams to win it. That's always been the way it's been. So ever since I've coached here, it's always been tough, our sectional. So you're just going to try to go out there and do everything you can do to win the game.
Coach, thanks so much, and we'll hear from you after the game on Tuesday night, and good luck to you. All right, Michelle, always good to hear from Coach Brobston, who we've been working with all year on the Frankton Eagles report. But let's start Tuesday night with Taylor and Tipton. And been a pretty down year for Tipton, but we knew all along that Peyton Aller had a bright future. I kept saying last year, and this year he's been really good and probably gives them a chance to beat Taylor.
I'm going to say this. For Tipton this year, the one consistent has been Peyton Aller. And the kid plays hard the whole game. And
Passionate.
And he attacks. And the great thing about Peyton Aller is he likes to do it on both ends of the floor. I mean, he will get down and guard you, and then he's explosive offensively. Here's the thing. The Blue Devils don't have Grady Carpenter. They were 4-time sectional champions. He was a starting point guard 4 years in a row. Now, don't get me wrong.
He was the common denominator.
He was the common denominator. And don't get me wrong, he had some great teammates in Nolan Swan and those guys. But we saw him last year, Greg, just take over games, and he's why the Blue Devils ended up winning that set, getting a 4-peat.
And still doing it up there at Grace.
He is. They won the regular season, and Grady has started every game for Grace this year. So he doesn't have to score for them. And so he doesn't, but he still runs the offense, runs the flow, does a good job dishing the ball. He was playing like he wants to play. And
that's a big loss.
Yes, it is. And that's a big reason the Blue Devils will not 5-time sectional champions. Tipton people may sit there and be upset that I say that, but my job is to be truthful.
That's right.
And that's the truth. And
not that they couldn't, but it's very unlikely.
They just did not get a draw that enabled them to set up very well. The paths for the two teams in the championship game are basically the same paths they were a year ago. Just the bottom half of the bracket is just a little bit of a different order. But last year, Tipton had to beat Taylor, beat Sheridan, and then beat Frankton. And Tipton trailed in both of those first two games by double figures at some point, and even in the fourth quarter, and then Grady Carpenter just took over.
That's right.
And they don't have that this year. Tipton's got some size, and Grayson McFalls be interesting. I don't know. Tipton has been playing Dakota Garmon a little bit more, and I think maybe because of his athleticism. He's a junior, and folks, if you want to know if he's related to me, he is, but he is like a distant cousin. So, hey, Tipton also has a great shooter in freshman Kellen Williams, whose uncle Kelly played for the Blue Devils back when they went to the semi-state and lost to Kokomo in the one-class era. He was teammates with Matt Waddell and
I've heard of him.
Yeah, and everything. So, but he's a freshman, but he can knock it down from long range. I think for Tipton, really, this is a learning year under a new coach. And they've had to learn a lot, and they've had to learn to rely on new players, because not only did they lose Grady last year, they also lost Sam Quigley, who had been a vital part of that team for 3 years. Taylor has three really good players who are also outstanding athletes in Harris, McClatchy, and Galloway. At least two of those three have scored 1,000 points in their career. So
Did it in the same week.
yes, yes. So, and they handled Tipton on Valentine's Day at Tipton and broke that, like I said, snapped a 31-game losing streak to the Blue Devils. Blue Devils may be able to make it a little closer on Tuesday night, but Taylor I think, is going to win that. Coach.
Well, don't spoil your predictions coming up, Michelle.
Oh, I shouldn't do that. Coach Fonzo White has Taylor, I think, playing more consistent this year and more disciplined than maybe they have in the past. And if
definitely a factor in the sectional.
Yes, they can be a factor. I mean, they have a chance to win it if they can just be, continue to be coachable.
And the winner plays Sheridan. I think Sheridan probably thinks they can win this too.
Oh, I'm sure. Sheridan's also got some really good players, and
Trey Page and Devin Hamilton will be two of the best players in the section.
Yes, and they beat Taylor earlier this year because Sheridan went undefeated in the Hoosier Heartland Conference to win it, and so that bracket is going to be interesting.
Well, Michelle, the bleachers are probably going to fill up slowly during that game because the big one is coming up right after that, right in Frankton and Lapel's backyard at Elwood. The Eagles and Bulldogs, I want to say it's kind of a rubber match because Frankton won the sectional last year. Lapel won a crazy game earlier this year, 60-59. So this is the rubber match. It's for the sectional. It's on a neutral court. It's exactly how you want it.
Yeah, I guess you say rubber match, although last year's scenario went Lapel won in the regular season. Frankton beat them in the postseason, and then we got Lapel won in the regular season. How does that second one go? Two very good teams, two well-coached teams. We've talked about backyard rivals. May hang out, may date kids from each other's school. Their bands play together a lot, although they won't be playing together tomorrow night or on Tuesday night. But when they play each other, there's not a lot of love out there on the court, and there should not be. There's not a lot of love when you do play each other on the court. There shouldn't be.
No one you'd rather be.
Right. So I think Lapel's in a good position. They got two kids that were injured early, and they've got them back. And it's kind of like they and Frankton have flip-flopped because Lapel played a long stretch without. Now they've got their two really important pieces to them back here as they head into the sectional. And Frankton is limping into the sectional. Ashton Brobston will play. He's going to play. I know what Brent kind of said in his interview. The kid played 4 minutes the other night. He didn't look bad. I think they wanted him to get out there and to see how much pain he was in when he was playing. Nickham played, and he played just like 40 seconds in the game, but he looked good on the cut. I mean, though both of those kids will suit up, and Blake Nickham is a tough kid, and he's a senior, so he's not going to miss, but they're not 100%. I know Frankton's got some young players, and watch out, folks, because I'm telling you what, if Frankton doesn't win the sectional this year, and I don't know, we're going to have realignment, we know, at the end of this year, but they will be a favorite in whatever sectional they're in the next 2-3 years.
4, 5, 6 years, maybe, all the way down to 7th grade. All they did was win this year, Michelle. All right, well, let's hear from Lapel head coach Kevin Cherry. Then we will make our Tuesday night predictions and then our sectional championship predictions with Grant Shouse coming up. Well, Coach, you get the sectional draw. Frankton right off the bat. Your feeling about facing the Eagles here on Tuesday night?
Well, Coach Brobston and I joke. Seems like we joke at the beginning of each year, like we'll see each other first round of sectional too. And sure enough, that came true again this year. But it's an exciting time. Both schools, I'm sure, are excited for the matchup. Our fans, they love the rivalry, and so I expect it to be a great game and a great environment Tuesday.
And you won a wild win earlier this season, but they won last year in the sectional, so it's kind of a bit of a rubber match, and it's on a neutral floor. Yeah,
that was a great game. It's a game where we got down 15 points in the second half. the
Yeah.
first time we played them, and we're very fortunate to win that game. I think this time around, we had 19 turnovers the first time we played them. I really tried to stress to our team, not just this week, but the rest of that season, after that game, we're not going to be able to win many games turning it over 19 times. And that's going to be, I think, a very important piece of it tomorrow is if we can value the basketball and making sure we're getting great shots and not turning it over and giving them extra opportunities. That'll be important for us to have a chance to win tomorrow.
I think a couple of programs, if I'm being honest, great programs that we kind of thought lost some players that were going to be really hard to fill those shoes, but both programs have done a great job. 33, 34 combined wins between the two programs. And Coach, that was one of the wildest games I've ever seen. More runs than any high school game I can ever remember. What's it going to take to beat them again?
You get into a sectional environment, a great atmosphere. I think whichever team can maybe settle down the quickest and get into what they're wanting to accomplish will be critically important. But on the other hand, it's nice to know that if we were to get down, there's no reason to hit the panic button because we've been here before. It's another important message as you go along in the tournament to our team is the one thing certain is there's going to be craziness along the way, and it'll probably happen in game one. But you just stay together as a team for 32 minutes. And a lot of times it's not the best team that wins necessarily. A lot of times it's the toughest team. And if you can stay together for 32 minutes on a nightly basis in the sectional tournament, I feel like you got a good chance to win. And like I said, not necessarily does the best team win in a single elimination tournament. And that's another message that we've tried to stress as we prepare for the sectionals, is trying to stay together for 32 minutes. Everybody be great in your role and play for each other. So it's a message that we've really done a good job of buying into this season, I think, as a team. And I don't expect anything different Tuesday night.
Coach, that game was 2 months ago. And as you know, no basketball team stays the same over 2 months. So what's it been about your team that clearly has improved throughout the season?
Well, the first time we played Frankton, that was the first game that we didn't have Quinn Wilkins. He was out with the broken hand. And when we went through that spell, and of course Luke Jones goes down with a lower body injury in the ankle. And fortunately, both those kids are back. But the 5 guys that we had during that stretch, I really thought our chemistry was really good to start. But those 5 really took a sense of pride on, okay, yeah, we may be shorthanded, but we're going to play really hard, and we're going to play for each other. And that mentality, I think, has continued to get better each week of the season for us. And then you look at, Owen Garber, I think his level of play from the first time we played Frankton to now has only continued to get better. Liam Coe is a sophomore, more reps, more experience, game experience. And his game is better now than the first time. And then our group of 5 seniors, they're anxious for this moment. It's always a bittersweet time of year. There's only going to be one team that obviously wins their last game of the year. And I know those 5 seniors want to keep playing as long as they can. So, their team's the same, though. They're going to be better. They're playing better. And Coach Brobston will have them ready to play. So I look for it to be a great game. And I'm anxious to play. I wish it was Tuesday right now.
Sorry about the audio issues there. I tried to fix it, tried everything I could think of, and wasn't able to do it. At least with the time I had. Hope you enjoyed the interview with Coach Cherry anyway.
All right, guys, we heard from Brent Brobston. We heard from Kevin Cherry. We did not talk much about the other game, Tipton and Taylor, despite having Michelle Garmon here. Not the big game of the night. Of course, that's Frankton and Lapel. But we'll start with Tipton and Taylor. And Grant, your pick.
I know they play each other later in the season. I'm going to take Taylor, the athleticism they have. I saw them once this year against Eastbrook back in January. The athleticism they have, what they play with, how they're coached. They play a different style. And again, Michelle probably knows a little more about this, but they're going to play probably a different style than Tipton plays. And they're going to want to run, jump, be long, lanky, athletic. I like Taylor to beat Tipton on Tuesday night.
Um, when Taylor won that Valentine's Day game, and I'm sure Blue Devil fans thought it was like the Valentine Day massacre. That snapped the Titans' 31 game losing streak to the Blue Devils. It's the longest winning streak Tipton had over an opponent. And I know it's hard to beat a team twice, and I might have said in the past, no offense, but I like Coach White, and he's really brought some discipline and trying to teach basketball. This Taylor team, and they've been up and down a little bit, but he's a good coach. They're going to be well coached, and they do. They have 3 outstanding athletes on that team, and I think the Blue Devils, their 4-year sectional reign comes to an end on Tuesday night.
Yeah, it's Taylor. All right, we'll go in reverse order for the second game, and of course, that's the big game of the night, Frankton and Lapel. And I think after what happened last year in the sectional, I felt all year that this is probably Lapel's year, and I'm going to stick with that. Not only am I taking Lapel to win this game, I am taking Lapel to win the entire sectional, Michelle.
I will. This is a tough one. Brent will have him ready. I don't know that I've seen a coach that always has his team tournament ready every year in and year out, like Brent Brobston does. And it doesn't matter who they're playing. He always has a great game plan, and he can take things away from you and everything. This is a tough one for me because if Lapel's hitting threes, Frankton's going to have a really tough time. But I also know that's such a huge rivalry. It's a backyard rivalry, and there's a lot of pride on that, and it's hard for one of those schools to sweep the other. But I will say this. I will probably take Lapel, and I'm only going to take Lapel because Brobston is not going to be at full strength. And
neither is Blake Nickham, probably.
Probably not, although he doesn't have swelling on that ankle, and he said he didn't have a lot of pain with it the other night, which that's always a good thing. But Nickham has got to be a force, and problem with Frankton is they have some younger kids who've come off, but Nickham and Ashton are just so critical to them, rebounding-wise, defensively, and handling that pressure. And I'm going to give the slight edge to Lapel, but I will not be surprised if Frankton pulls it off.
I don't think I need to say that caveat, but I won't be surprised either. Grant, your pick?
I'm kind of right where you guys stand on this as well. Frankton is a very well-coached team. It's one of the better coaching jobs every time they step on the floor out of any team in the state. Lapel is a team that is also very well-coached. It's a backyard rivalry, like Michelle said. And it's one that both kids on both teams are going to get up for. Like I've been talking with the Peru and Mechanic-Wall coaches this week. They play each other on Wednesday, and it's kind of the same deal. Throw the records out when these two teams get together. The big key for me is you mentioned the health of Blake Nickham and Ashton Brobston, who are not going to be at full strength on Tuesday. That kind of, I think, gives the advantage to Lapel in a way. I like Lapel to win this game and probably win the sectional. I think whoever wins this game probably does win the sectional on Saturday night, but don't be surprised for a team like Taylor to knock someone off this week as well. Taylor's kind of my dark horse here, but I'm going to pick Lapel to win on Tuesday against Frankton and then end up winning the whole thing.
It's a sweep. Everybody, thanks for listening. Please stay tuned for Elwood Athletic Director Ryan VanSkyock talking about hosting the sectional. Thanks, guys. Well, Coach, we will see you on Tuesday night after the first round, and we'll talk to you about your first round opponent then. Right now, I want to talk to you about hosting the sectional. And first of all, anything that listeners may want to know?
Yeah, just a few things. Door 8H on the side of the high school, our normal entrance. That'll be the only entrance for fans to arrive. Something different this year is they do offer the all-session pass again, so that is $20 for the whole week. If you decide to do that, you have to buy that online. And then everything else is cash or credit at the door, $8 each night. So if you think your team's going to be playing all 3 nights or going to advance, it saves you about $4 in the long run to get the all session pass. So we are really excited to host unbelievable teams coming in, some unbelievable players, outstanding coaches. So we feel very honored to have this sectional and to be able to have it at Elwood. And we're going to do our best to make sure people feel welcome when they come and hopefully have a great week of basketball.
Coach, is this the second time Elwood's hosted a sectional?
They hosted it right before I came in, so it would have been 2019, maybe 2000, right before COVID in that time frame. So it's been a little ways since they've had one.
And why is Elwood the perfect place to host a sectional, Coach?
I think all of our schools and our sectionals are very deserving. I feel like we try to go above and beyond to make sure people feel welcome to come to Elwood. Elwood kind of gets a bad rap, but it's an unbelievable community, unbelievable people in it that love sports. And we just want to make sure people feel welcomed and want to come back to Elwood. That's my main thing. Anytime we host any event, our officials, our media, our fans, we want those people to be like, man, I really enjoy coming to Elwood. I want to come back. So we try to do what we can to make people feel that way and try to go above and beyond to take care of people. And I feel like by doing those things, it allows for us to maybe host some bigger events because people do like coming to Elwood.
All right, Coach, thank you so much for your time, and we will talk to you on Tuesday night.
Thanks. We look forward to having you, and it's going to be fun. So see who's the last team standing.
Thanks so much to Coach VanSkyock, Coach Cherry, and Coach Brobston for joining us tonight, and to Michelle Garmon and Grant Shouse for co-hosting. And thank you for listening. Please do us a huge favor. Share this podcast with a high school basketball fan in your life and help us spread the word that the Central Indiana Sports Report is talking about what Central Indiana sports fans are talking about every single day. Thanks again. Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media. And I love Susie.